Welcome back to OSLinux1. So, if you watched in my previous video, I went over some books. And since then, I've been reading and studying some of the books I mentioned before, such as the CompTIA A+. And I had two books that I mentioned. Let's go over here to Amazon real fast. I just put these in the cart for reminder purposes. Okay, so currently I have the ITF Plus Fundamentals book paperback, and I have the CompTIA A+ certification study guide. Both of these books are from McGraw-Hill. Okay, I have both. I have the Kindle version of the A+ and the ITF Plus in book form. They don't offer it in Kindle that I could see. I just received the ITF Plus book in the mail today. I've been reading and studying this one and the Kindle version and the one by Cybex here. Okay, and they're not exactly the same, and it's still too soon to tell. They're both about 1,500 pages. There's a lot of information in these books. It's kind of if you acquire this certification, it's like an entry level qualification for IT, like work at a help desk or a tech, but the amount of information in these books is quite extensive, more than you would think if you've never looked into it or not familiar with it. Okay, based on some of the research that I've done, an A+ certification from CompTIA is a meritable and credible certification for, if say, A+, for entry level IT position. Now, the ITF Plus, which precedes it, they also have a certification for that, a test. I don't necessarily, in my experience in reviewing the book at this time, I wouldn't recommend that you pay for the exam if you're interested for that one. I think it's a good idea to get the book and look through it and study it, but I wouldn't take the exam on it if you're looking to get an IT position somewhere as an entry level. I would go for the A+ certification. Now, the A+ certification is broken down into two core tests. So when you go to take the exam, you have to pay like about $200 for one and $200 for the other. So it's going to be over $400 to take the exam. Now, word of advice, I would do a lot of studying. I would make sure that I knew the criteria. There's plenty of YouTube videos on it, and people have taken it and acquired it, and people approach studying differently. Um, uh, at first, if you're at the entry level basics of computers and networking and hardware and operating systems, I would go and get, I mean, if you absolutely basically don't know anything, I would go to the ITF Plus. It, even for me, not to boast, uh, but uh, there's still information in there. Maybe not a lot, and I'm sure people will differ, but there is some things in there. A good portion of it you're probably going to know, and you possibly are going to know some things, at least uh, when you start off reading this, well, not this one, but the other one. The This one actually is a little different the way it's laid out. It tells you what you're going to be going over, kind of lays it all out for you. A lot of it has to do with networking as it's laid out, but it also gives you 2 assessment tests after you read through, like the introduction. It's just an assessment, and then it starts out with like hardware of a computer. Okay, so I'm pretty familiar with hardware, so for me, it's a lot of stuff that I already know, but they do describe some stuff that I didn't necessarily know, or I had questions about it and explain what that meant or what that was. Okay, so like for example, if you've heard of DDR4 RAM, if you're familiar with computers, do you know what DDR stands for? Well, for example, it'll say that it's double data rate. That's what DDR stands for. Or say USB. You know what a USB connector is. Do you know what USB stands for? It's Universal Serial Bus. So, and I'm just using something that just comes to mind at first. But so it does start giving you information that may not have been clear to you. Okay, it breaks down a lot of stuff. This one does good at that so far, and the other one does so. But this one kind of starts you out with explaining stuff pretty in depth. Seems like there's a lot more information starting out. Again, it's too soon to tell for me, because it depends on how they work their way up. So this one by McGraw-Hill, it may work up to more dense criteria and information. This one kind of presents it to you almost up front to an extent. I've looked at both of their glossaries and been looking at terminology in both of them and stuff, familiarizing myself, because there is a lot of networking terminology. If you're not already familiar with it, it's going to seem like a lot. It is. But again, don't let that intimidate you. Anything new, I'll be on this earth next month will be 40 years. Anything's going to seem like a lot at first, but it's like you'll begin to understand it. So it's going to seem like a lot for a lot of people. Now, I've also listened to other people about taking this A+ certification exam. They say that the way the questions are worded are kind of tricky, and in the assessment test or exam that they give you initially in this book specifically, now I only have the Kindle version, but I'm planning on getting the paperback too, and I'll talk about why that is. And I think it's a good idea potentially. I mean, there's a lot of options, but now as far as how you approach studying, how you learn. So, anyways, I'll go over that maybe at the end of this video, different study methods and options. But I'm just going to go over these study guides initially and different certifications. And then you can take what you've learned from this video and, you know, look into it yourself if it interests you. So, I looked at the ITF Plus. I didn't purchase it, neither Kindle nor paperback back. But it's like from 2018, and based on what I'm seeing, for the most part in this one, I don't think that it would. I mean, I just got it today, and I just skimmed through it just to see. I had to go to work, but it still fills in some gaps. Not as much as the A Plus is going to. It's going to educate you. But so remember, this study guide has a lot of good reviews. You can look into it if it interests you. And this one here, they both have good reviews. I have both of them, at least in the Kindle version at this time. And so they're they're pretty good. Now the career path, I also, I just put these in this cart just for reference. The next one, if you want to pursue and advancing, they lay out is Network Plus. This one I don't currently have, but and then they have Security Plus after that, and I'll go to CompTI's official website, and we'll see. It's kind of laid out this way. You got ITF Plus, which is IT fundamentals, and then A Plus, and then Network Plus, and Security Plus. They recommend, if you were to take Network Plus, then you should. You don't have to have several years working before you meet their and have to fill out an application to get approved to take the exam. But I'm going to go over another place that offers these exams that does actually require you to it's just the way it's set up. But CompTIA, to my knowledge, does not require you to have a couple years experience to qualify to be able to take the exam. But you do have to pay for it. And you can take it online, or you can go to an actual testing center. It's up to you. But you have to get a voucher, and I believe you have to do it within a certain time frame. If you get certified in any of this, it's good for 3 years. Okay, I've been looking more into it. So, and I want to point out that the A Plus primarily is going to be working around Microsoft Windows. It does cover a little bit on Mac OS and Linux and Android and Apple phones, mobile devices. I can say that from, reviewing through it and looking through it and studying terminology and things of that nature and reading some chapters in them and stuff. So, now, for Security Plus, they recommend you take Network Plus. And I believe the recommendations are, pretty good. I don't know if you would want to skip the Network Plus and go straight to Security Plus. But that's something I will need to look more into. Lord willing, I'll buy these books and I'll look through them myself, and I'll give you my own opinion where I think you can just skip the Network Plus and go straight to Security Plus, because maybe Security Plus study guides, for example, will cover the same criteria it's in Network Plus more emphasis on security in addition to that. So I could see why you would skip Network Plus, but when you go to look at the website, they okay, it says Explore Security Plus. I'll just do it this way. Um, let's see, overview, preparation, renewal. You know, you can go to their website and look more into it. If it says renewal, get the most out of your certification, renew. Yeah, that's their online training offers. It's not cheap. They have their own study guide, but not too many people have. It's an ebook. Have actually bought them or used them, so there's not a lot of reviews that I could find. Anyways, somewhere on here, I'm pretty sure it recommends that you take the Network Plus first. But anyways, so let's go back. So after the Security Plus, if you were to go this pathway with these study guides, you know, I don't think this is necessarily in order here. Not this one. The one on the top row is basically, but this I don't think is in necessarily in order. But so you got Cloud Plus, Linux Plus, Server Plus, and Security Analyst. And again, you can explore this, and they'll give you recommendations, not requirements, but recommendations what you should take before you study and take these exams. Okay. And then I have CAS Plus, which is advanced certification for I forgot what it's for. It's kind of above. It's above. It's like a architectural security professional. I believe it's what it's called. Certified Architectural Security Professional Plus. I believe it's what it's called. And then you got Pen Test Plus, which is maybe better than a Certified Ethical Hacker certification. I'm not 100% sure. But Data System Plus, Data X. So these are the certifications that they offer. If you're information or interested in information technology, this is by CompTIA. Now let's see if I can't just quickly pull up their study guide. Training, e-learning, and with them Paperbook or the ones from Amazon from McGraw-Hill and Cybex, they have online exams you can take, practice exams and things like that, and practice tests. So I know they have a study guide, ebooks. I think. Let's see here. E-learning. How about that's what I picked on, isn't it? Yeah. But this is their training programs are kind of pricey. Okay, here it is. Learning products on the CompTIA store. I'm gonna try to make this short, but there's quite a few things I want to touch on. Certified Master, A plus Core 1. Certified Master. Individual license. I'm not sure what that. I think that includes the study guide. I don't know. But you can look more into this. I haven't looked through this real thoroughly. I was just going to show you this study guide. It's an ebook, but it is their official study criteria. I don't know. It's like $200, you know, for the Core 1 and the Core 2. Because there's two exams, if you look, 220 1101 and 220 1102. So they're two separate exams. I believe this 350 is reflected in the study guide. I don't know, and maybe the test voucher. I'm not sure. Let me look on the details really fast here. See what it says. License. Maybe not. I don't know. Well, anyways, I've kind of spent enough time on CompTIA and those certifications, but these are those some of those books, and all these combined was $292. You know, I mean, if you buy all of them, Pen Test, Certified Ethical Hacker, Linux Plus, you know, uh, but so I cover those. And yes, there is a legitimate certified ethical hacker certification. In cybersecurity, you have people that do this on a professional level in a professional way. And we'll move on to more about that here in just a moment. It's necessary to set up security for networks and operating systems and databases and things of that servers and stuff. So, yeah, it's legit. It's not cybercrime. It's to counter cyber criminals. Let's see here. Okay, so the next one is EC Council certification. They offer degrees. Now, the Certified Ethical Hacker Exam certification requires you to, I believe, let's go down here just a minute. Ethical hacker. They offer some training courses, I believe. Of course, it's not cheap here, but it's not necessary to learn the information, I'll say. But they also have a certified penetration testing professional, and they also have computer hacking forensic investigator. And I'll go over that. Just see, they have quite a few here if you can read. Ethical hacking, computer forensics, network security, encryption specialist, pen testing. You know, so they have a lot of these certifications. So there's a lot of specialization in, you know, ethical hacking or regular network security and cybersecurity. So there was one that I wanted to point out that kind of appealed to me, is a CHFI, Hacking Forensic Investigator. Basically, it's somebody after an attack, they go and do an investigation, conduct an investigation. And you can look into that. I want to move on though. But you can get a study guide for that here from Amazon. The Certified Ethical Hacker. They also have one for the CHFI. Let me see. It may be outdated. Yeah. Yeah, this one says 2014, so it's kind of old. But they do have a course. Let's see. They still offer, so. Course outline. Who is it for? If you're interested, you can go look into it. But they do have e-learning course. And then there's another one couple that are GIAC certifications, high standard in cybersecurity certifications. These ones I believe are more expensive and may require some prerequisites and a couple years experience. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what all certifications they offer, but you can look into them too. Let's say certification categories. Stackable certifications, incident handler, forensic analyst, intrusion analyst. So they have some. You can look into it. Again, there are study guides on Amazon for these tests. They have Security Essentials, Certified Incident Handler, Certified Penetration Tester, and so on. So, again, they do. I'm not saying it's the same level of quality as some of these online courses, but you know, if you read some of the reviews on this, they say, well, I use only this and I passed the exam, or I use this and some other things. So then the next one, or the last one in this video I want to go over is the CISSP, Certified Information Systems Security Professional. I don't know what the prerequisites is. I think 4 years in cybersecurity before you can actually get this certification. But 5 years required work experience. So approved by Department of Defense. So this is a high level certification. But and I'll go ahead and be honest with you, you're not going to necessarily skip all the way to this type of exam, or you know, without kind of going through I mean, you might be able to skip some things, but you're pretty much going to have to go through this process. There's a lot of information involved. You don't just go and study for that exam. No, you need to kind of go through this process here first, and then like I showed you, and then you can well, I don't know about the CEH, the Certified Ethical Hacker offered by this EC Council. I don't know what the full prerequisites are. I'd say you'd have to at least get the Security Plus certification. But you start looking into, like, I believe the GIAC certifications, and then the CISSP, which you can get their study guide, for the CSSIP, or P, not IP, CSSP, or CISSP, or whatever. Let me. Hey. Here it is. You can get this one. Yeah, CISSP. Certified Information System Security Professional. So, you know, you can study for these, but there's prerequisites. You need to understand quite a few things before you would even study for this. I mean, you can buy it and look into it, but it's going to be based on a lot of information and knowledge that you should already have. I mean, 5 years experience before you even can qualify to take the exam. You have to apply for it. So these are some high-level cybersecurity certifications. Just so you know, it is an actual career. It is an actual job. And hacking isn't necessarily something criminals do. You have to have ethical hackers to counter criminal hackers. So, um, so I think, what was it? Oh, there's one other thing I was going to cover. Is it Anchor? Yeah, Anchor. This is not, I don't know from experience. Uh, this is a flashcard type digital, well, I'll go to the other. It's a little slow here for me. Let's go here. See if this one works. It's you can get it as an app, both on your computer and both on a phone. But it's a method of studying and memorization. It's rated pretty high. It's not recommended by everyone that's used it. That's, instructors or professors, but a lot of medical students use Anki. I've never used it, but so this is one thing I wanted to cover. Other methods is spacing. I forgot what it's called. Spacing. Basically, it's what it is you don't cram all the criteria and stuff you're studying for in. You take breaks, maybe once or twice a week, in order to train yourself to remember stuff. So I think it's something. I don't know how you call it. See, spacing, studying method. Oops. Spacing, note taking, spaced practice, learning sessions, but each session is shorter. Anyways, that's not what I think that I was referring to. Anyways, you can Google it or whatever yourself. But I just want to bring some of these things to your attention. There are legitimate careers and jobs in hacking. And it's not all about criminals and pen testers and hacking networks and looking for vulnerabilities to access sensitive information or financial accounts or whatever. But obviously there are laws. There's a legal way this is done, and there's an illegal way. So I don't recommend doing it without knowing the laws unless you want to suffer the consequences. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over this once again and to let you know that I did receive the ITF Plus certification study guide. If someone just wants to learn the basics of computers, it would probably be for them, and they would be educated. Doesn't seem to be hard to understand. Seems pretty simple. I haven't read it yet. I'm still going to go through it, see what I can find. I'll kind of do a review on it. The same thing with the A Plus and Network Plus and Security Plus. The ones I get and look over and look through, I'll let you know. And see how much difference there is between Network Plus and A Plus and Network Plus and Security Plus. See what the difference, how much difference of information, or if you really need to take one before the other. CompTIA recommends you take Network Plus before Security Plus. So it would make sense. I could see why A plus would come after the ITF plus, but I don't think that I would pay the money for the ITF plus to get that certification. I believe I would study the material, take plenty of practice exams till I was at a consistent 90%, but I wouldn't actually take the exam itself. I would just go for the A plus and actually take that exam and then move forward. But well, that'll conclude it for this episode of OS Linux 1. If you like the content, leave a like below, and any comments, anything you'd like to add, or any kind of input or questions. Maybe I can help. I know this is supposed to be a channel about Linux, but it's got me to really thinking about, since I'm so interested and I like reading and learning so many things, and then just by me looking at the A plus study guide and reading through, even though it's centered around Microsoft for the most part, it does cover Linux. But as you progress up that chain, you'll learn more about Linux. It's relevant as you move forward. But yeah, it will remind you of things. It will bring things to your remembrance. It will fill in some gaps. That's one of the reasons why I picked it up, to see what I knew, what I didn't know, and there's a lot of very useful information in the A plus. And I looked through the ITF plus, and while at this time I don't seem to see a lot that I don't already understand, I did come across a few things that filled some gaps. So I believe it's a pretty good idea to start a good, clear foundation in information technology and continue to move forward from there. So again, I hope that this information helps you in any way, gets you to thinking. Maybe you can look into more stuff, read more reviews, look at more content on YouTube, and maybe it'll interest you or maybe not. And there's no time frame. I mean, you can buy the book and study for a year or two and then decide to take it, or a week or a month, or but it's going to cost you every time. I think you can pay for, say, the Core 1 and Core 2, it's like $400 and some total, or was. And then you got 2 vouchers, so that means you can take the exams twice a piece. And you can take it as many times as you want, but you're going to have to keep paying for it. So I'll see you again here next time on OS Linux 1.